Actually, the whole thing is the messy side. It's a workspace. I always see these people with like clean black backdrops, and I'm like, how does that even happen? Like, I genuinely work out here and at any given time have 570 pieces of furniture out. So I don't know. I even try to keep it clean out here, I swear. You guys, my name is Brandy. I'm the owner and artist behind Brush by Brandy, and I paint here live with you guys every Thursday evening. So we're going to do some painting tonight. I showed you guys on my page the piece that I'm going to be working on, and it's going green. It's going green. And let me tell you the story on this one. So this is actually a customer's piece, and she fell in love with a piece of furniture I did, and it actually was available for sale, but the dimensions didn't work for her space. So she said, but I have this piece of furniture that does work in that space. What if I brought you my own piece? And so we are duplicating that finish onto her piece of furniture. And I think this is cool because it shows you guys what the same look can look like on totally different pieces of furniture. And then it also shows you like what looks people are attracted to that I get requests for over and over again. And this is one that's been kind of popular. So we're going green. We're going to use Wysol paint tonight. And the colors that I'm going to be using, the first one is called Carbon. I just popped the lid on this. Let me.
Yeah. There's a tool over there.
Yeah, I have one.
Okay.
All right, Carbon is a dark charcoal gray. It's a cool gray, so not a lot of brown in it. That is Carbon. It's super pretty, brand new container of paint. Like there's nothing like popping the lid on a brand new container. And that's because my existing container of Carbon is almost empty, so I might need to dip into the brand new one. We're also going to be using Spanish Olive, which let's see if I've got any on the lid here. So that's Spanish Olive. This color, man, this color scares me every day of the week, but it is the best accent color. It is this bright yellowy green, and it almost makes things look like they're glowing, which is the look that I love to go for when I'm doing a blend anyways. I like it to look like it's just kind of glowing. And then Foxtrot is a dark army green. So let me show them together, and that's my color. That's my color scheme on this one. So 3 colors. That's where we're going. And this is going to have a transfer on it. I don't have the transfer yet because I actually have to order it. But this will have the Anthurium transfer from Redesign with Prima, which is a gorgeous transfer. And it has those yellowy greens in it. So that's why I'm going this direction with my greens. So we're going to do this side here. What I have on here so far is 2 coats of Wysol primer in light gray. And I sprayed their primer. It actually sprays really, really nicely. And we did one day where me and Sean got out like 12 pieces of furniture over the course of 2 days and just sprayed them all, prepped them all, sprayed them all in primer. And I'm finished with about, probably 8 of them. It was a big project. So that's why I've been kind of quiet on my pages, is I've been honestly working my tail off. So I'm going to dip into this here, and I'm using a longer handle brush because I want to dip in here.
Sherry says, quite a treat, twice this week.
I know, yeah, well, because I did the live for Redesign with Prima. Annie Sloan had a release with Redesign for some new designs, a paper, a transfer, and a mold, and so I got to participate in that. But there was a Facebook outage, so even that got delayed a day.
Which is kind of still messing with us, but
throw me a Mr. bottle?
Can I throw it at you?
This one right behind me will work. So I dipped into my Carbon, and I'm just using a longer handle brush right now because I'm so low in that container. I usually would use my S50, but it has a shorter handle, and so I find when I need to dip into a container, I end up with my hand having to go partially in the container. So that's why you're going to see me use the longer handled brush on this one. And this is the F40, which is my favorite long handle brush from Klingon. It's got a nice head on the brush. There's one that's slightly wider than this, which is the F50. I like this one because it's a little bit smaller. So the F40 is probably my favorite of the flat brushes. Like I have 3 favorite brushes. I'll show them to you guys right now. When people ask me what, Klingon has quite a few different brushes, and I did tell you we were going to do how I've been going over products with you. I will do one on brushes, but every once in a while I have to pause from that and actually paint furniture because I get orders. And so this is one of those cases where I need to get caught up, get some content for YouTube and things like that, and then I can go back to doing those product focused live videos, and those have been, they seem to have gotten a really good response. People have enjoyed those. We've done clear coats, we did decoupage mediums, we talked about paint, different types of paint, and so we'll do brushes too. I want to talk about different types of brushes, different shapes of brushes, but I do have to get caught up on some furniture. So that's kind of where I am. That's my status update for you guys. So the first thing I'm doing is framing this side out, and I'm going to go ahead and get this all into these moldings here. This is a fairly detailed column right here, and I just want to cover that primer and give myself a nice smooth coat of paint. One thing I do, you'll notice a lot when I do a blended finish, usually my base is a solid color, and my edges are a solid color, and there's kind of a reason for that, and that is if people need to touch up places on their furniture, it's most likely going to be the base and the edges, and if those are solid colors, then it's easier to touch up if it ever needs one. Painted furniture wears really well when you make it so that it can just be touched up. It'll tend.
Sorry over there, YouTube. Give them the shakes.
Are you neglecting YouTube? Well, Sean told me we might not have very much audience tonight because the State of the Union is on. So you guys are choosing me over the State of the Union? I feel honored. I feel honored.
Let's get you there.
Yeah, I feel honored. All right, so now that I've got that basic outline done, I'm going to bring this line in a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of water just because my paint has started to set up while I was working around the other edges. And
Now, to be fully transparent, I'm required to be here, so.
Oh, you would be watching the State of the Union?
Otherwise, I'd have the TV on.
I understand. It's tough competition. I'm not even going to pretend that I can. I don't know. I guess I just gave you like the State of the Brush by Brandy Union.
Well, you didn't bring anybody in the picture and discuss anybody else, so.
I don't know. Do you want to talk
That's
about
kinda how it
how
rolls.
you're feeling about things? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not into feelings. Can we not do that?
So what I did here is I plan on blending this out. So I took a little bit of water and I just softened this edge a little bit so that I don't have a harsh line right there. And that just gives me a nice smooth transition so that when I start in on my second color, which I'm going to do in a minute, I'll be able to just work that in to this edge that I softened up a little bit. All right, so my next color, I'm going to introduce my S50 brush. And these are both from Klingon. I'm going to add a little bit of water again, and that's because I want these two colors to work into each other.
I'm just going to say that 148 people have decided to tune into us.
Wow, you guys.
Although I did see someone posted that Biden's running late.
Oh,
so.
is he? Oh, is that the only reason why you guys are going to leave? Come on. I don't know. I guess I have to make it so interesting that you can't even leave.
Hey, Tanya.
Even if he gets on and says something interesting about the State of the Union, you guys are going to be like, but I have to see this paint finish. I can't leave the paint finish. Tanya, we know you don't care about the state of our union.
Yeah. Go kick rocks.
Tanya's in Australia. She's like, you guys are fine. Get over it. Let's talk paint. Okay, so this color is called Foxtrot, and it's a deep kind of an army green color. Blends really nicely into that carbon. You guys, this is just my base coat.
175.
So it doesn't have to be perfect. I wish we could have a counter and know, like, how can I know if I beat the State of the Union tonight?
I'm going out on a limb here. I'm pretty sure there's a comma in those numbers compared to yours.
All right. I get it. I get what you're saying. All right, that is that Spanish olive, and it looks absolutely terrifying. It's probably, I don't know, I think it's kind of making a resurgence as far as a color that you could use on its own. But as an accent color, it's, as my kids would say, it's fire.
Oh, jeez.
All right, so I got that accent of the Spanish olive, and now I'm going to bring back my brush that has the Foxtrot on it, and I'm going to brush right through that Spanish olive.
So I know this is not non-paint related, but that's how I roll. I was in the car the other day with our oldest, and he's mentioning these words that they use for slang, and I had no idea. He had to educate me on some of them. I had no clue what they were, and then I asked him, obviously politely, right? Sonnets
And
using
like, "Who's
today's
Shakespeare?"
verbiage, and that's what I got. Who's that guy?
No. I do. That's one reason I do like driving the carpool. We drive carpools for all the kids' sports. You know, you get approved through the school district to be able to drive, and we do private club sports too. And it's because it totally keeps me in on all the lingo. You know, I know what all the kids are saying these days. Okay, so that is my blend. And you guys see I did that in like 10 minutes. It's full of flaws. It's not perfect. It's just to get some coverage because when I come back with a second coat, that's where it's really going to pull it all together. And so that's what I kind of did on this piece. I worked ahead so that we did our first coat over the primer. I can still see my primer peeking through. I wanted you guys to see how kind of quickly I just place the colors in their place. I do a rough kind of generic blend and I leave it. And that's my first coat of paint. Like it doesn't take that long. Don't finick over your first coat of paint unless you're unsure on color placement. And that'll be a time when sometimes I'll go back and be like, oh, I don't like this here. I'm going to change these colors around. So I'm happy with this, which means I'm going to ask Sean to help me turn this.
Sure, hold on. This new.
Actually, you know what? I could do it.
You got it?
Yeah. I'm an independent.
I don't want you to hurt yourself.
I'm a strong, independent woman.
But
Right.
this landing gear for a pad on this,
I know.
I got to readjust them and I forgot.
That's the only bad thing about my new tripod is it does have a really wide base on it, but I do like
Oh,
it.
I wonder, could I kick on the strobe lighting or the party lights on this thing?
It does have a strobe light. You
Yeah,
want to
let
turn
everybody.
the lights off?
Yeah,
You guys want to have a paint party? So what I'm going to do on here is actually I took all the hardware off of these. So these doors kind of free swing, which is annoying when I'm trying to paint over them. I'm going to shove a piece of painter's tape in here.
Oh!
Probably more than
International Women's Day is today.
Oh, is it? See, I am a strong independent
Now
woman.
hold on, Tanya, aren't you a day ahead of us? Are you?
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
is it Friday?
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
What day is that?
Don't throw a kink in the wheel. You know, come on.
Okay, I'm actually going to throw a couple pieces of tape in.
Cindy, apparently, I can't turn on the strobe light. Cindy doesn't want to have a strobe.
Oh yeah. Anyone who's prone to seizures. Okay, so that now tape, it just shoved in the bottom.
See, Tanya, it's Friday. Tomorrow is National Women's Day for us.
I was
See,
ready to celebrate. I was all excited. And then you guys, where I have this tape, it is going to kind of interfere with my doors, but it's on a portion that has a solid color on it. So touch up on that spot is going to be really easy.
Oh, well, thank you. You are far more educational
Well, who's
than
that?
the alternative, by the way.
Oh. So I guess it's State of the Union on. We actually are recording it. I just am curious. Sometimes the curiosity gets the best of me. Plus, I don't want to miss any parts that might be entertaining that people are talking about tomorrow, and I wouldn't know what they're talking about.
Oh, thanks, Michelle. So YouTube took a crash and now it's back up.
Oh,
so
wow.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
It hasn't shown anything on here, but
So weird. Like Facebook had that outage this week, and now YouTube's down right now.
where are my theorists?
I know.
Hello.
Conspiracies.
Conspiracies? Yeah.
Conspiracies. All right, I can't reach that section over there, so I'm going to kind of work in the center of this as much as possible. Otherwise, you guys look at the back of my head the whole time. I'm scraping the bottom of this paint container, and then I'll be able to go in my fresh container. There's nothing like painting from a fresh container of paint.
And leaving the lids all over the place for me to navigate over.
I do order, I order pints. I don't order quarts, and that's because I do paint from the container. It's a terrible habit. You should put your paint in another container. Especially, Weisel is a pretty clean paint, and so it can go bad in the paint, but I try to paint from the pints, which is a smaller container, and then by the time I'm done with them, it's time to throw that container away. So to avoid that, you guys put your paint into a separate container and you won't suffer that. I'm going to have to sit head on with this a little bit better.
Oh, come on.
This is the front of my piece and it's got a really wide front on it. And I want this to be, I don't know, if it looks bad, I'm going to have to go back and redo it.
On this. There we go.
All right, so this is my second coat of paint. I'm using a little bit more water. I really have most of the coverage that I need. I'm just trying to saturate those colors. And I want to keep this paint nice and wet because I'm going to do a blend on here and it's a big wide surface. Okay, so especially when I come out around these edges, I'm going to add a little bit more water because that's the part that I'm going to need to work into my next color. Get some paint up over here. Oh, that container's almost empty. if I wasn't on camera, I would be 100% sitting head on with this and looking at it straight head on. My base coat does give me a pretty good idea where my color transitions are going to be. And I've told you this before, but sometimes I'll reverse my paint order too if I feel like I'm getting a little too heavy on a color. So that's a little heavy on the gray, but I'm going to come in with my green and I'm going to brush it straight into that gray with a nice wide overlap. I like the overlap to be nice and wide so that that transition looks gradual.
No contest, Brandy or Biden.
That's a huge compliment, I think. I don't know.
She's no longer on here, so I think yeah.
I don't know that I can provide the entertainment factor though. Just the sheer entertainment factor is tough to compete with. And I definitely will not talk politics with you, I promise. Okay, so I'm brushing that gray into the green into the gray, and I sort of am mixing them right on my furniture piece. But it doesn't have to be perfect because I'll show you why in a minute. I just really want to get these colors onto my surface and keep them nice and wet. Because I'm gonna...
Oh, all bets are off.
Yeah, everyone's gone now?
Brandy for president. And we're done. Mic drop. I'm leaving the building.
All right, you guys. It's gonna have to be on a write-in basis. Just warning you now, though. All right. So how's that? Pretty good. And then I've just got the kind of orb in the middle. So let's get this. And I do, when I'm doing areas like this that are pretty wide and open, I try to work pretty quickly.
What was the gray you were using?
Carbon from Wiesel Paint. It's a deep charcoal gray, really nice color, like to blend with. You can blend it any number of different ways. It's pretty. In this case, I'm taking it into a green. You can take it into other grays, beiges. It's a nice accent color. I've used it with vintage duck egg. It's pretty. All right, so I'm just getting these colors on here and doing kind of a rough blend, and I'll show you. We're going to come back and I'll work them together a little bit better. But I got to get the paint onto the surface first. And I brush vertical and horizontal. My main goal is just to keep thick brush strokes from getting into my paint. I mean, honestly, that's not too bad. And I could even work the drawer separately from the bottom if I felt like it was a little too much. This is a pretty large surface. All right. I'm gonna brush that foxtrot, the dark green, a little bit into that bright Spanish olive, just so I've got a little bit more overlap to play with when I come back to work these together. I don't want it to be like the colors to be super defined, because that's when it starts looking like that orb that I don't know, it's like I have nightmares about it. I probably will get off camera and I'll look at this head on and be like, nope, that's not it. And there are times when that happens. I'll sit back and think I did it good, and then I step back, nope, got to redo it. So sometimes don't get frustrated if it doesn't look right in certain light, or you catch a brush stroke that you're not happy with. So that's pretty good. Now we get out this guy. Ah, this is the B12 from Klingon, and I love this as a blending brush. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to start working it into these colors.
Oh, interesting. Someone named Lori.
Aunt. You guys say hi to my aunt. That's my Aunt Lori. She's an awesome aunt. Today is also, you guys, my 9-year-old is turning 10 today. So everybody wish Logan a happy birthday. I officially made it through a decade. All of my kids are in double digits now. That's an accomplishment, right? All right, so what I'm doing, and you'll notice already that my brush starts to pick up colors, and I keep my colors where I've got the dark at one end and the light on the other, and I'm going to keep it in that order as I work my way around this and work these colors together.
What's that brush and what's the previous one you were using?
So hang on one second.
Okay.
So this is the B12 from Klingon. I also like the B10. The B10 is slightly smaller, same concept of a brush. This is the slightly larger version, and there's about an inch difference between the two brushes. I probably tend towards the B10 a little bit more. This is just what I grabbed off of my brush cleaning station. But they're very similar and a lot of you guys will see that I put B10 a lot. This is the B12, and I think they're pretty interchangeable. I just really like the size of the brush, especially on surfaces like this. So the first brush that I used the S50 from Klingon. Okay, and I'm brushing these colors together, vertical and horizontal. I only do this step on my second coat because the first coat, this can tend to pull paint from the surface. And on that first coat, I want to leave the paint behind because that's when I'm trying to get coverage. This is when I'm trying to get a smooth, nice blend. How does this look from the back of the room? I'm going to try to make a nice continuous line going from this drawer down to the door. So I'm going to keep that stroke continuous. And I haven't really added any water. Different paints kind of have different dry times, but I find with Wise Owl that I don't need a lot of water. You guys probably see me use more on camera than I actually use in person. And I'm brushing it straight through that center. This spot might be a little inconsistent, so I'm going to introduce my brush from my Spanish olive, and I'm just going to give that a couple strokes of paint just to get more consistency in this spot, and then I'll work it together again. Didn't look like it was very even. That could just be from my angle. So this, if you do this on your first coat, it will tend to pull a lot of that paint. So save this big brush for till your second coat. I think this looks pretty good. I would be pretty happy with this blend. I will have to probably look at this. This was a big surface. I will have to look at this and let it dry and just see what I think. Now I've gotten some spots down here that have some of the green on them, and I want to keep this piece of trim at the bottom in the solid gray. So I'm going to give it a mist of water, and I'm just going to freshen up that gray. And that just happens from me running that blending brush through it over and over with kind of random brush strokes. And I'll do it over here too, make sure I keep those nice and crisp. I mean, that's my blending process, guys. Like, it's not super complex. The brushes definitely help. You guys want to turn this even more and do the other side? Hey, Sean, can you help me turn this
Nope.
again?
Can't do it.
Stuck
Okay,
on
what are
the-
you trying to do?
I want to get to this side right here, but it's stuck on the carpet over there.
You want to flip this way?
Yeah.
Watch that paint.
Yeah.
Right there.
Okay.
More?
Yeah, I want that to go back.
Okay.
My lovely assistant, you guys, wasn't dressed for the camera
There?
tonight. This is
What are you
another
trying to
side.
say?
If you guys want to repeat that process and basically do it on this other side, this is another side that just has a first coat on it, and we'll just repeat that second coat process. I think that's kind of where the magic happens. I'm going to go ahead and get this trim piece right here, just a mist of water. The water is also going to help it find all the low points in all this detail trim. It's a fairly, it's got a pediment on the top here.
Oh, the temp inside, what is it, 65?
In here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's warm.
Just the question was thrown out there, what's the temp in here, because the paint.
Oh, good
versus paint dries
question.
fast.
Yeah, definitely temperature matters. I'm in California, so I don't get a lot of, temperature fluctuations. And my space's climate is insulated and climate controlled. Huge luxuries. We, a couple years ago, decided to put climate control into the garage. It just connects to the climate control that's in our bonus room, which is up above me. So we just connected it into that. Huge luxury that I can turn on when I'm spraying. I can turn on heating or air conditioning and get the room to a specific temperature. It doesn't get cold out here because it's insulated. If your paint is drying fast, mist it with a little bit of water, very little water.
Sorry.
And then obviously when I'm not talking on camera, I can usually go a little bit faster. I don't know, painting on camera is totally different than it is just when I'm in the zone and not talking. I'm faster when I'm not talking.
So yeah, 65 degrees works 65 to 70 is perfect in here.
It's a great temperature. Now, I might need to wear a sweatshirt, but my paint does pretty good. I also don't deal with freezing. We are in the winter right now, so if you deal with freezing temperatures, chalky style paints can freeze. Chalk synthesis paint from Weisall, it can freeze. So bring your paints inside. If you deal with huge fluctuations like that.
There's many things. Sorry, you'd hate painting in the summer in the deep south. Yeah, there's many reasons I would hate to experience summer in the deep south.
Yeah,
It's way too darn
I
hot.
totally get that. And
Humidity.
and the bugs, like the bugs. Just recently, like, you know, we're starting to get warmer weather here in California, and like the first mosquito of the year comes out. I'm like, oh, it's time. 50 brush. I showed you guys, I would show you my 3 favorite brushes from Klingon. Hands down, I'm using them tonight, and these are hands down my 3 favorite brushes. The B10 or the B12, I feel like would be interchangeable. Either one is a great choice. Love this as a blending brush. I've always liked a nice, full, large brush for blending with, and this is like, meets all the criteria. It's easy to wash. As far as a flat brush, I love the F40. That's my favorite of their flat brushes. And then the S50. So I've got B10 or 12, F is in Frank 40, and S is in Sam 50. Are my 3 favorite brushes. The ones I use the most, no doubt about it. Like, easy choices for me. Okay, so this is Foxtrot, which is the dark green, and I'm going to add a little bit of water. Probably wouldn't need that if I just wasn't yapping it up right now.
Oh,
I'm trying to
I
get
could
this
do without
done.
113 painting in 113 degree weather.
I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know. I'd get mad all the time, and I'd be like, stupid furniture, I hate paint. Going in the pool. All my furniture would be angry.
Why do you sound like a trucker?
Yeah, because I would stop painting and start driving truck if I had to paint in 114 in the south.
So the fat brush. I mean, I don't want to shame it, but what was that?
That's the B12 that I have out. But I keep telling you guys the B10 or the B12, they're slightly different in size. I don't have them both out tonight. Slightly different in size, and I would use them interchangeably. So either one of those I think is, love them. They are pricey. So I only have a few of those. I wash them out, and I only bring them out on that second coat, and it kind of brings it all together. So I think it's worth having one of them as a blending brush if you're looking for a nice blending brush, but I also will not deny that that is a pricey brush. When you're doing smaller surfaces, like that was a really large front. If I'm just doing a side like this, I could definitely blend with just the S50.
Wow, the president must be on. You're down to 98 people.
Oh,
You were
ouch,
at
guys,
200 and change.
I'm super hurt. I don't know. I don't know how to take that. I'm a little offended. Everyone was like, yay, Brandy for president. Okay, gotta go.
Yep.
Gotta go by.
I said my piece. I'm out.
Yeah. Okay, so that's all my paint on the surface. Gonna get out this baddie again. This is the B12. I'm keeping my paint in the same order. So the light end of my brush is going here towards the lighter colors, and this is the end that's getting that dark gray.
Come into the light.
And I'm brushing straight through them. Vertical, little horizontal action, kind of. The randomness kind of happens with a random brush stroke. That it gets lost in the random brush strokes, those transitions between the colors. So I don't try to keep it all going one direction, even though Sean wants everything one direction.
Oh, geez, you just can't resist.
Okay, I'm gonna go straight through that center.
And for the record, never heard him.
Well, except for that you saw him in concert, what, 8 or 10 times?
Only.
What about that
I
time?
think there's a word for someone that does
What about
that.
that time you got arrested? What about that?
Trying to get on stage.
Yeah.
Who said you can't have a mosh pit at a One Direction concert? It's so
I
stupid.
mean, a lot of teenage girls did get injured, so.
To be honest, I don't even know if most of them were even teenagers yet. Like, kick them out.
They gotta go.
Right to the face.
They're in my way. All right, so that's pretty.
Some people are more of a stare.
The sides like this are much, much easier. Those large open surfaces, like the top is a little harder, and then that big wide open front was a little harder. So I feel pretty good about this. You guys are probably looking at it going like, you shouldn't. What about
Well, they're
that
not
one
even
spot?
looking at it. They're watching the State of the Union.
I know. Dang it, Joe Biden. Thursday nights are my nights. I've had this spot for like 7 years
Yeah,
now.
he didn't
Pick
get the
a
memo.
different night.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not too much.
I tried
It's
to
not too
get
much to ask.
pull some connections.
Yeah. Calling your Secret Service friends.
Pulled the muscle, but yeah.
Is that running to the One Direction concert? I don't know. So I could have a tendency to overwork this. It would be really easy, but I think I'm just going to let this one be. And then if I let this dry and I feel like I need to change it, I can always go back and do that again. Honestly, I could make my way around a piece of furniture like this in like 45 minutes probably to do all 1, 2, 3, and then the top 4 sides. 10 or 15 minutes a side.
Hands down, Brandy over Biden. Right? Campaign slogan right there.
Yeah. All right, you guys. So that was it. I kind of just wanted to get through that second coat on this piece with you guys, and that's kind of where we landed. Let me turn this one.
Oh yeah. Maybe if you wore aviator glasses, more people would stay on.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, dark brandy. Dark brandy. Oh my gosh, you guys are too funny. Okay, so 3 colors. Foxtrot, it's my medium green, Spanish olive, and then carbon is that dark gray. That's a pretty good blend. I'm pretty impressed with myself for sitting off to the side like I was. I'm pretty okay with that. I'll let it dry and see if I'm happy with it, and if not, I can go back and redo it again. I still have to do the top on this one. I'm hammering the lids back on my paint.
Huh?
Can I tell you guys a secret? My son has a band concert, so we're running like literally getting off camera, getting into the car.
Boom.
Got to go to a band concert. And my other son had a swim meet, and I missed that for you guys.
And then we have a birthday.
So yeah, and we have a birthday tonight.
Like everybody's got something going on except for me.
It is a busy Thursday, so if you guys missing the State of the Union, I also missed a swim meet. So I feel your pain tonight.
Really? Same thing? Really?
Yeah, same thing. So if this feels like a short live, but I feel like I got done everything that I wanted to get done tonight. You guys, I finally finished up all these pieces I keep telling you about. My goal for myself was to clean out some of my storage and just get rid of some pieces that I've had in my inventory for a long time. And so we sprayed them in 1 hour enamel. It's a great option for smooth, even finishes when I just want to liquidate some inventory. So I've got some projects coming up on that. And I also was asked by someone today the main difference between 1 hour enamel from Wiesel and their chalk synthesis paint. Their chalk synthesis paint is ideal for exactly what I did tonight, which is a blended finish. It blends really well. Artistic finishes, so if you're doing layering, drippy finishes, textured finishes, all those artistic things that we love to do. And 1 hour enamel is going to be your best choice for those solid single color finishes. It's super durable, dries to a satin sheen, so it doesn't need a top coat, and I genuinely do not top coat it. You can put a transfer over it. You can put glaze over 1 hour enamel, so you can still use all those accent products, but you don't have to top coat it. And it's great for those great for kitchens, great for bathrooms, front doors, projects that you just want a solid color on. It sprays beautifully out of the container with minimal dilution, if you need any at all, usually none. So it sprays beautifully, but solid single color finishes is going to be your 1 hour enamel. Artistic finishes like this are going to be the chalk synthesis paint. I love them both for different reasons.
So really quick, Kelly earlier came on and said, you should post the first piece you've ever done.
Oh, you guys want to see that? All right, I'll post that one.
Is that the blue one?
No, remember, it was the one that came out of our rental. We had a rental house. We still have it, actually.
I know what they were.
But it was dark gray.
Was it gray?
Yeah, and the people had, we had a tenant in there.
Oh, look at that. Ordered 10. I'm going to shut you down. I'm talking about the people.
What the people want.
Marissa ordered 10 different colors from Wiesel and is excited to use them.
Oh my gosh. So that's, when I first started with it, I obviously can't keep the entire line of every line of paint on hand. So it's gotten to where I have the full line of colors. And now when I use one, I'm able to just replace that one, replenish one color at a time. I just ordered some new colors of 1 hour enamel that I haven't used before. So
what year was that, by the way?
Holy
gee, really?
That's when I graduated high school. 2000.
Was it 17?
16.
16.
Yeah. 2016. And the tenant trashed our rental house. It was really a hard experience. And they left all their belongings. Like it took us like 6 dump loads to clean the house out, and that included all their furniture. Well, the state of California requires that you store their belongings. You can't dispose of it without trying to contact them and make sure that they don't want the stuff. So we had to store it and try to make sure that they didn't want their stuff, which means at the end, I just had a whole bunch of furniture. I was like, I can't throw this away. What I can't put it out the curb. What do I do? It's not in great condition. It needs to be refinished. And so I was like, what is chalk paint? What is furniture wax? And I just, at the time, there was like 2 people that I could even find a blog post from. There was nothing. You could not find any information. I was like, I'm going to learn this. And I started putting them on Facebook Marketplace, and a follower, a customer found me, and she was like, you should share this on social media. People would love to learn how to do this. And I was like, who would want to watch that? How many people?
Well, 76. We've lost some people.
76 people would want to watch that. So I put it on social media, and it blew up really quickly. It was a timing thing, very much a timing thing. It was a different time when information was short and hard to come by. And I was learning at the same time. It was relatable for people, I think. And so it just blew up really fast. But that was my first piece. I'll post it again. Just a solid single color finish, which is still what I recommend that you start with. This is...
get all crazy.
Yeah, this is a lot of pieces in, you guys. Start with a solid single color finish. Learn the products. Learn how the paint feels going on. What it does when you add a little bit of water. How does wax go on? How do you put a clear coat on? Learn that stuff first before you try to start with, your first piece of furniture that's 8 colors and 4 transfers and raised stencil and glaze. And, I show you all those things, and sometimes on one piece, but I hope that you can pick it apart like a cafeteria plan and be like, I just want to do that color finish. I just want that transfer. And you can kind of combine some of these techniques. I'm just trying to show you guys the techniques, and then you can choose to use them how you want. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to pop off. I'm going to let you guys go back. We'll talk about the State of the Union next week. I hope something entertaining is going on. I'm going to pop off. I will have a YouTube video coming out this week. I promise you, I got a whole bunch of stuff edited this week. And so you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel if you don't already, and I will catch you guys next Thursday. All right, let's go.